Great to see you, everyone. Welcome back to This Week in CA Football. I'm Bobby Broyles, along with Rob Washburn. JMU will be the lone team to represent CA football the rest of the way as the Dukes advance to the quarterfinals in an impressive fashion, while a historic season for UAlbany came to a close this past Saturday.
Yeah, allowing a 93-yard touchdown run and then a 93-yard kickoff return for a score in the first 3 minutes of the game was probably not the start that JMU was looking for, but the Dukes dominated the final three quarters with 45 unanswered points and rolled past Big South champ Monmouth 66-21. Offensively, JMU set program playoff records with 66 points and 623 total yards and didn't punt all afternoon. Quarterback Ben DiNucci accounted for 339 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns, while Percy J. Obase found the end zone 3 times on the ground. The Dukes defense held Monmouth's high-powered attack to just 266 yards and no points over the final 44 minutes. Defensive end John Daka had a big afternoon, contributing 6 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a blocked punt. Now, UAlbany got off to a fast start but couldn't maintain the momentum in a 47-21 loss at 5th seeded Montana State. The Great Danes took a quick 7-0 lead as Jeff Undercuffler hit Juwan Green with the 58-yard TD pass on the opening drive of the game, but the Bobcats responded with 47 straight points. The loss ended a historic season for UAlbany, which posted a best-ever second-place finish in CA football after being picked last and won an FCS playoff game for the first time ever. Undercuffler shattered the FCS record for passing touchdowns by a freshman with 41, and Green finished as the nation's leader in receiving touchdowns with 17. It was a season that will be remembered for a long time at UAlbany.
Yes, it will. Congratulations once again to the Great Danes. As we look ahead to JMU's quarterfinal matchup, the Dukes will be nationally televised in prime time Friday night at 7 o'clock on ESPN2 as the Dukes will welcome Northern Iowa to Bridgeforth Stadium. Offensively, Rob, the Dukes were very impressive like we said last week. What will be some of the keys for the offense against this tough Northern Iowa defense?
Yeah, JMU's offensive performance last week was its best of the season with 332 yards in the ground and 291 through the air, and continued a run of success that has seen the Dukes average 527 yards and 56 points over the past 4 games. It starts with the play of Ben DiNucci, who's completed an incredible 83% of the passes with 9 touchdowns and no interceptions in the last 4 weeks. Top receiver Brandon Polk has caught a touchdown pass in 11 of the past 12 games, and Riley Stapleton is coming off his best performance of the year with 7 receptions against Monmouth. The Dukes' rushing attack has been equally as impressive, with Percy J. Obase having scored 9 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks, and Juwan Hamilton averaging 108 yards in the past 3 games. Now, having the ability to move the ball on the ground and through the air is critical, especially on a night when the weather is expected to be cold and wet. Along with the weather, JMU will be challenged by a Northern Iowa defense that's one of the best they've seen all year long. The Panthers have held 6 of their last 7 opponents to 10 points or less and rank 7th in FCS in both total defense and scoring defense, giving up just 294 yards and 18 points per game. UNI is also among the best in the country at forcing turnovers with 32 for the season. The unit is led by linebacker Bryce Flater, who has made a team-best 121 tackles, and 6'7" defensive end Ellerson G. Smith, who has recorded 21.5 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, 14 quarterback hurries, and 5 forced fumbles. The Dukes' veteran offensive line will need to be at their best.
Defensively, the Dukes have been strong all year long in all phases. Yeah. How do they match up versus this Panthers offense?
Yeah, as eye-popping as the numbers that the JMU offense has put up in recent weeks, the Dukes defense has been outstanding all year long. They rank number 1 in FCS against the run, number 3 in points allowed, and number 3 in total defense. JMU hasn't given up more than 270 total yards and 21 points over the past 6 games, and they've forced 14 turnovers over that stretch. It starts up front with All-America defensive ends Rondell Carter and John Daka, who have combined for 48 tackles for loss and 25 sacks and create constant pressure. Linebacker Dimitri Holloway went over the 100 tackle mark last week, and the Dukes have 4 players in the secondary with multiple interceptions, led by Adam Smith with 6. Now, quarterback Will McIlvain leads a UNI offense that averages 22.5 points per game. He has thrown for nearly 2,700 yards and 20 touchdowns and has also run for 397 yards. The Panthers feature a big play threat at wide receiver in 6'4" Isaiah Weston, who has better than 1,000 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns while averaging 24 yards per catch. Now, UNI doesn't put up a ton of points or yards, but they also don't beat themselves, committing just 17 turnovers in 14 games.
Stay with CAFootball.com, folks, for continuing coverage, including links to live audio, live stats, and more from Friday night's quarterfinal contest.
Yeah, and of course, as always, you can continue to follow the league on our many social media platforms, such as Facebook.com/CAFootball and Twitter @CAFootball using the hashtag CAFB.
That is it from us today. Enjoy the game Friday night, everyone.